The NBA sold this video for $200,000. Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, sold his first tweet for $2.9 million. WeBull sold a picture for $69 million. What do all of these sales have in common? They were all done using NFTs. In this video, I'm going to explain what an NFT is, how they work, and walk through how you can set up your own NFT right now using tools that are freely available online. So right off the bat, let me explain what an NFT actually is. NFT stands for non-fungible token, which simply means a token that cannot be copied, replaced, or exchanged. Basically, it's a one of one. This technology runs on the same blockchain technology that funds popular cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, which use a decentralized ledger of all the transactions that occur to determine who owns what. This makes it so you can guarantee the authenticity of an NFT without requiring some central organization to certify it for you like a bank. So in the same way that you might buy a rare sports card that is certified authentic by a third-party organization, you can buy an NFT that is certified by the blockchain. This allows you to take digital assets that used to be totally copyable like a video or a photograph and make them unique. One analogy that I've heard for this is that an NFT is kind of like a signature. If you bought Jack Dorsey's NFT for his first tweet, you don't actually own the tweet, instead you own his signature of the tweet. Same thing with those NBA highlights. You don't own the right to the video itself, instead you essentially own a signature from the NBA. All the blockchain technology does is verify that that signature is authentic. So why are people paying millions of dollars for NFTs if they're just signatures? Well, I think that there's two main aspects of this. The first is just hype around blockchain technologies. Bitcoin and Ethereum have been some of the best performing assets over the past decade that we've ever seen. With them setting almost daily new peaks in price, a lot of people have probably had the thought, if only I bought into this back when it only cost 1 cent, I would be a billionaire at this point. NFTs currently kind of have the same aura as early Bitcoin. They're a little bit mysterious, people might not fully understand what they're used for, but they know that there's something there that could be valuable. That kind of speculation based on the current hype around an asset is also known as a bubble, and I think that NFTs right now have a lot of the hallmarks of a traditional bubble. NFTs from small, unheard of artists are selling for thousands of dollars without any apparent reason for the actual valuation. Many people unfamiliar with the blockchain space are starting to jump in and pour money into it. The New York Times is starting to write articles about it. But there is another aspect to NFTs that I think holds a lot more sustainable growth for the future: guaranteed scarcity. Scarcity is an economic term which refers to when more people want something than there is supply of that thing available. When this happens, that scarce resource becomes more valuable because all the people who want it will start bidding up its price. So if I launch an NFT of a piece of digital art, there's only one signed original of that item. Yes, you could go out and make copies of it, but those would just be copies. They wouldn't represent the original in quite the same way. Think of it like the Mona Lisa. You can go on Amazon right now and buy basically an exact copy of the Mona Lisa for $100, and yet the original Mona Lisa is priceless. It's simply because that is the original, and simply believing something is the original gives it a certain limited supply. So enough theoretical talking about NFTs, let's dive into creating our own. So there are a couple different websites that we can use to create our own NFT. For this particular video, I'm going to use a website called Rarible because it's pretty popular and it looks really easy to use. Now, most NFTs out there use the Ethereum Blockchain network to run on. So in order to create an NFT for this particular website, we're first going to need to create an Ethereum wallet that supports ERC-721. There's a couple different companies we could use to provide this wallet for us. We could use MetaMask, we could use Trust Wallet, but I'm going to be using the third option, which is Coinbase Wallet. Now, I chose Coinbase just because they're one of the largest crypto exchanges out there, so I'm trusting that their tools are relatively easy to use, and I'll include a link in the description if you want to follow along. Once we get that account set up, it's going to basically act like a checking account for our Ethereum. Now, once we get that account fully set up, we're going to need to add Ethereum to the account. The reason for that is because in order to create an NFT, you have to pay what's called a miner's fee. This is a fee paid by you to crypto miners in order to process your transaction. So this here is Rarible's website, and the first thing that we're going to need to do is to connect our wallet to this site. So if I click on Connect Wallet here, it gives us a couple different options we can select from. Now we're going to use Coinbase Wallet because we just set up a Coinbase account. Now when I click this, it's going to generate a QR code that we're going to use, and we're going to need to scan that on our phone in order to connect our wallet. That means that you're going to need to download the Coinbase Wallet app in order to actually transfer your money to here. Now it's kind of annoying that you have to first transfer your coins from Coinbase to your Coinbase wallet and then from there to Rarible, but that's just how it's set up right now. That's kind of the price for decentralization. Now, if you're following along, the transfer from Coinbase to Coinbase Wallet is instant, and also the transaction from Coinbase Wallet to Rarible happens immediately. The big slowdown is going to be actually getting Ethereum into your Coinbase account. For me, they estimated it would take 3 to 5 days to transfer money from my bank account to Coinbase. Luckily, I got a sign-up bonus that was $20 worth of Ethereum, which should be enough to cover this transaction. Okay, so update. I was trying to transfer money from Coinbase to my wallet to then transfer to Rarible, and it turns out that Coinbase charges you a miner's fee anytime you transfer coins off of their platform, which includes transferring it to the wallet. That means that in order to actually make this transaction, I have to first get the money into Coinbase, pay a fee to get it onto Coinbase wallet. Then once it's actually in the wallet, I can then pay Rarible. And then that miner's fee is going to be an additional probably $15. So unfortunately, I don't have $30 in my account at this point. So I need to wait for my actual bank account transfer to clear, which is going to take 3 to 5 days. So I'll get back to you then. Okay, I'm back. So over the weekend, I had to wait for the actual transfer to finish from my bank account to Coinbase. And then the total cost, the miner's fee for transferring the money to my wallet also dropped from $15 all the way down to $6. So I was able to do the transfer. So at this point, we finished a couple steps. We set up our Coinbase account. We have some Ethereum in that account. We've transferred that Ethereum to our Coinbase wallet. And now we've linked our Coinbase wallet to Rarible. At this point, we're all set up to create our own NFT. So let's go ahead and create our NFT by clicking the Create button here. Now we have a choice here. We can either create a unique one-of-one NFT, or we could create like a collector set of 25. For this case, let's just use a single collectible. And now we have to choose what kind of digital asset we're going to be using. Here we can use an image, we can use a GIF, we can use some kind of audio file. So let's go ahead and find an image that we're going to use for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Twitter and find the first tweet. Okay, so remember, this is a tweet that Jack Dorsey signed and sold for $2.1 million. Now I'm just going to take a screenshot of this tweet right here. Okay, and now I'm going to use that file. That's going to be the PNG that I'm going to use for my NFT. So let's go back to Rarible. Let's select that file. And there we go. We have the file uploaded. We're going to put this item on sale. We're not going to set an instant sale price, but if you wanted to, you could set a max price where this item will instantly sell at and it'll skip all the rest of the bidding. You can set an unlock once purchased. So if you wanted to, say, obscure the image until somebody actually buys it, you could set that up there. We're not going to bother with that. Let's give it a name. So in this case, I'm going to call it Screenshot of the first tweet. For the description, I want to be very clear that this is not the same first tweet that sold for $2.1 million. So I'll just put in a description here. This is completely worthless. And then at this section here, you can set what royalties you want for this. So one of the big opportunities for NFTs is the ability to assign smart contracts to them. So when I sell this item, let's say I sold it for $1, I would get that $1, but then whoever bought that item would have the ability to resell that item in the future. One of the advantages to NFTs is I can attach a royalty to that so that anytime this item is sold in the future, I get 10% of that sales price back to me. This has a lot of use cases that go far beyond just digital art. So let's say I'm a musician who's launching their first album. I could sell, say, 1,000 copies of that album for $1 each, and only my really hardcore fans would probably buy it. But then let's say I blow up at some point in the future, those 1,000 original albums that I sold are going to be worth a lot more money. So maybe some of those original fans decide to sell it to someone else at a hugely inflated price. At that point, I, as the artist, could still benefit from that sale by setting a royalty on the amount. I think this is the real potential for NFTs because it can be a way for artists, creators, even companies to raise money without going through a third party. Next up, we can set any properties we want to. I don't think we need to do anything here. So let's go ahead and create this item. So if I click create item now, it needs to upload the files and then mint the token. So when it mints the token, it requires an additional miner's fee to actually create the NFT token. The problem is right now, this is asking me to pay 0.03 Ethereum in order to actually mint that token. So if we look up how much that costs, that's $60 just to mint this NFT token right now. Now, last night when I was checking this, it was only 0.02, so this clearly goes up and down quite a bit. So now I guess in order to do this, I either need to transfer more money to Coinbase, which will probably take another 3 days, then pay again to transfer that to the wallet, then hopefully that's enough to cover however much it costs to mint the NFT. I have to say that so far this process is worse than going to a used car dealership. What started out as just a single $15 transaction to mint the token has turned into 3 transactions, which in total are almost like $100. All I can say is somebody had better buy this screenshot of a tweet. Sina Estavi, hope you're interested. Okay, 6 days have passed and I'm back. I had to transfer an additional $20 from my bank account to Coinbase and then transfer that money from Coinbase back over to my wallet, and now hopefully I have enough money in my wallet to cover the transaction of actually creating an NFT. I was kind of hoping that at some point in the last week, the price of actually creating the NFT would drop low enough that I wouldn't need to transfer more money, but that clearly didn't happen, and so now that the money is transferred, I should have enough to actually create it. So let's quick create item. Okay, now I'm actually recording this video on the same phone that this request is going to get pushed to, so this is going to cut out for a second and I'll let you know what happened. Okay, so I just spent the past 10 minutes repeatedly trying to get this to actually create my token, and I kept getting this error that I needed 0.004 Ethereum to actually complete the transaction. I was super confused because I had 0.03 Ethereum in my account, but it turns out that what the wallet actually means is I needed 0.004 additional Ethereum to mint the transaction. This means that the actual cost of this transaction is closer to $80 as opposed to the $20 that I thought it was going to be. At this point, I'm too far in to give up, so I'm just going to keep on trying throughout the day until I get a low enough miner's fee to actually mint this transaction, and then I guess I'll go back to recording the end of this after that. It's been 2 weeks. No food, no water, no sign of the Ethereum network letting me mint an NFT. I feel like I've been wandering for days, lost. I'm starting to wonder what's the point anymore. Oh, it worked. Well, it finally happened. After over 2 weeks of trying to get an NFT coin minted, I was able to transfer an additional $50 into my Coinbase account, convert that to Ethereum, and finally get my token minted. So I clicked the confirm button off camera just because I didn't actually believe that it was going to work, but this is what the profile looks like after actually creating your NFT. So you can see here, I just threw in a username and a profile picture for my profile on Rarible, and this here is the final collectible that I actually created. So you can see here, this image here is what I'm going to use for the NFT. You can see that I'm listed here as the owner. You can see that I'm the only one who's ever had a history with this coin. And you can also see that nobody's made a bid on this because obviously they haven't. So at this point, there's really not much left that I can do with this coin. I mean, I can use some of these options here to change the price, transfer it to someone else, remove it from sale, burn it, share it, or report it. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I've created an NFT, I've listed it on an open exchange, and now it just sits there unless somebody decides to bid for it, which reasonably they're not going to. This might not be the quickest way to flush $70 down the toilet, but it is one way to do it. So hopefully this video is helpful in getting you to set up your own NFT, and hopefully it highlights some of the pitfalls that you can run into. But let me know what you think of NFTs in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.